facing either the Nuggets or the Thunder. We're going to know by the end of tonight. What are you looking at, or what do you think their odds are to make the NBA Finals?
They're probably somewhere around like 40, 60. I definitely wouldn't count them out, especially given the fact that Rudy Gobert has has failed to be by the other team played out of a series as of yet. And I don't think that either of these teams are going to want to play him out of a series, just given the fact that they both play bigs between Nikola Jokic and Isaiah Hardenstein on the Thunder and Nuggets respectively. And Julius Randle has just been a significantly better playoff performer this season than he has proven to be in the past couple of years with the Knicks. So I think that this team definitely has a shot. Do I think that they are even close to the odds-on favorite to win the championship? No, but if you can get consistently good performances out of Julius Randle, and then that same breath, Anthony Edwards has probably been less consistent. Julius Randle has probably been the most consistent player for the Timberwolves through this playoff run that they've been on, and Anthony Edwards has been a little bit less consistent. So if you can get some consistency out of both of those players, some good games out of Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels is always going to play hard defense. If you can get offensive production out of him, this team is really good, and I think that again, it depends on how that series shakes out between the Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Because if the Nuggets win, I think that it's wide open for anybody. And we saw it last year that the Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves in the playoffs. So I definitely give them a shot to do it again.
Yeah, I've been waiting for Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, and I am still waiting. But I will say that with Anthony Edwards, he is a bad man, and I would not want to go play a team that is led by him whatsoever. I think part of this Timberwolves underrated or less spoken about run is kind of due to the fact that the Lakers got all that buzz in the first round. And then when Steph Curry went out, everybody was kind of waiting to see if they could get to game 6 for his return. And it obviously never happened. So people are kind of just putting them on the back burner in both of the first 2 playoff series. And now with this amazing Nuggets Thunder series, and then the Knicks making the first conference finals since 2000, they're not exactly making the headlines, but I think that's a perfect place for them to be. And if they get taken for granted again, they can use that as more motivation, as a slight, and I think that they got a really good shot at beating either the Thunder or the Nuggets. I would agree with you. I think that the Western Conference is certainly, in my opinion, I don't know. I don't think that they have the 3 best teams remaining, truthfully, but because I did just say the Knicks and the Pacers would be able to give the Timberwolves a really, really good series. But I am starting to think that the champion is more likely to come out of this Western Conference with those teams still aligning. And I do, as you just said, agree that the Timberwolves, they did just show that they can beat this Nuggets team last year, that they can beat either of these teams that come out. I think that they do have a pretty good matchup against the Nuggets. The Thunder makes me question a little bit just with their depth and if Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle end up just not showing up. But yeah, this Timberwolves, I like your 40-60 mark. They got a really, really good shot. They got a really good shot. And so just no slight to them. But I don't know if they'll be able to do it. But if those 2 guys play well, I don't know who's going to stop them.
Yeah, and up to this point, they're going to be tied with the Pacers for the least amount of games played going into the conference finals, both of them playing 10 games. And this Denver series of extending out. Obviously, Denver is going to have played 2 game 7s if they move on to the next round. And then Oklahoma City, after sweeping the first round, they're going to have to go to game 7 with one of the toughest teams in the NBA and be on a day's rest. Obviously, they'll still be at home, so that gives them a little bit of an advantage there. But still, and also Minnesota came out flat last time. It was more rust than it looked like it was more rust than rest helping. Last time they came out after a long break, and the other team was just off 1 day's rest. Especially that Golden State team that didn't even have Curry for the second half. You just assume that they pull it out. So who knows how that will actually end up playing out, especially against a better team in the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I think that the fact that they're not having, and they are a young team, so who knows how much that actually affects them. But the fact that they aren't having to go long into these playoff series, only have played 10 games going into the conference finals, and the fact that they're going to be off nearly a week's rest, while the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be off a day's rest, I think that is something that could play into how game 1 looks as well.
So,
or whoever wins that series.
Yeah.
I said Oklahoma City, but
yeah. So what does this ring do for Anthony Edwards? This would put him in a spot, I think, where we're talking about. There are going to be some people who call him the best player in the world. I think that that's still reserved for Jokic, but he would start to really be in conversations of, yo, this guy is as good as some of the greats that we have truly seen. It's not just those Michael Jordan, he plays like him comparisons. It's he's got a resume, or he's building a resume to start to prove that. He's almost in like his D Wade era where he's got one of those rings out of the way really, really quickly. We're not counting down the years where he doesn't have one. I think that puts him in a really, really good spot. And honestly, I'm kind of rooting for it. He'd be able to match some of the all-time greats and their resumes if he were to win this championship this year. And then who's to say it can't happen again next year?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that you make a great point at the end too, because of the fact that if they can get through either of Denver or Oklahoma City, the Western Conference, like you said, it feels just like they are a little bit. It looks like they're the better conference right now, just like straight up. So if they can get through the West, and it feels like they had a good chance of doing it last year, but if they can get through the Western Conference like this year. I think that there's no reason why they can't do it again for the foreseeable future. And it just looks like if they can, no team feels like they're unbeatable at this point. So if Anthony Edwards proves he's that guy and proves that he can just consistently be a playoff riser, then there's no reason why this Timberwolves team can't continue to just be great in general, especially if Julius Randle is going to play the way he is playing right now. Can you expect that regularly? It's yet to be seen, especially given the fact that up until this point, it looked like Julius Randle did the opposite in the playoffs and actually shrank when the moment came a little bit too big. But I mean, who's to say that like this Timberwolves team won't be in contention for years to come, especially given the fact that there are no real super teams anymore, and especially with the salary cap and the CBA rules the way that they are, it doesn't look like there's going to be any overpowered super teams for years to come. So yeah, the it just NBA feels like it's wide open in general, and if Anthony Edwards can get that first one, who knows how much he can stack.
I remember saying that about Chris Middleton for all of those years until that run in 2021 for the Bucks, that he just wasn't going to be able to be enough to be the number 2 on a team. And Drew Holiday obviously helped that a lot. He was potentially the actual number 2, but Chris Middleton had so many amazing games during that run for the Bucks that he kind of shook that reputation. And then even after that, in the years, after, if he was healthy, he played extremely well. He played extremely well in that first matchup against the Pacers for the Bucks, and obviously wasn't on the team this year, but like he kind of shook that reputation that he had, and some players will do that, and they'll rise to the occasion. So maybe that is what Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert end up doing, and if they do, just like we probably said with Giannis, if Chris Middleton can show up, they're going to have enough and they're going to win the NBA championship, and you're going to give him enough moments or enough chances to create moments to be great. And Giannis certainly did that in the finals against the Bucks. So this Timberwolves team certainly has it if those two guys can play well.